Hi, what is up my dudes? It's Ariel, if you know me, or if you don't know me, still Ariel. And today I am finally back with a favorites video after what feels like so long. It's been about a year, so yay, let's get into it. Okay, so I probably titled this video March favorites because March is coming to, or has probably already come to an end by the time this is going up. But seeing as though I have not made a favorites video in the past year, this is gonna kind of be my favorites for 2023 up to this point. Whoa, I mean 2024, I'm still messing that up. I actually went to the dentist earlier today and I wrote 2023 on the form, but also if my face looks weird while I talk, that's why. But I wanted to talk about some of my clothing, music, like other media favorites, I think food favorites as well, and just like what I've been up to, I guess, like a little fill you in, catch you up. Yeah, I really like these videos and I've missed doing them, and I've also had a couple people ask me if I was going to make another favorites anytime soon, so here it is, here you go. And I want to start getting back into doing them regularly, like every month, or at least like every 2 or 3 months. I don't know if I'll have enough favorites for every month, but I don't know. I feel like I have a lot to get to, so let's get into it. Starting with my first favorite, which actually happens to be the sponsor of today's video, which is POIZON. Thank you so much to POIZON for sponsoring this video. POIZON is a fashion marketplace with over 300,000 different products, including sneakers and luxury goods. They have the best prices for sneakers and hard to find releases. They also guarantee the authenticity of all of their products. And they also offer legit checks using a simple 2-step process. They offer competitive pricing, and also all purchases are eligible for return within 3 days of receiving your item. I was able to get the Onitsuka Tiger Mexico 66 SD sneakers, which I've had my eye on for a while and I'm so excited to open them. It's great that I was able to find them on POIZON for $181 because the regular retail price on the Onitsuka Tiger website was $250, so it was a really good deal. And I'll be super excited to wear and style my new Onitsuka Tiger Mexico 66 SDs that I got on POIZON in this super cool yellow and black colorway this spring. I think it's really perfect for spring and a great pop of color. These are the elevated version of the regular Mexico 66 sneakers because these have a full leather upper instead of the regular leather and suede, and they also have an ortholite sole, so they're way more comfortable, both of which are very important factors to me when buying a shoe. And you can check out POIZON to cop the same pair of shoes that I got using the link below in the description. And you can also use the code MK01 or MK02 on POIZON to save up to $20 off of your order. Thanks again to POIZON for sponsoring this video, and don't forget to use the codes MK01 or MK02 to save up to $20 off of your order on POIZON. And now let's get back to the video and some of my other favorites. Okay, usually I think I start out with what I've been up to as of this month, and I guess the past couple months. I did post a vlog like in the beginning of the year, so that's still kind of what I've been up to, except like I guess it's more normal now, or regular. Like I'm getting into a better rhythm and flow because I feel like I had a lot of change in a lot of different ways when the year started, so I feel like I've kind of adjusted to that change pretty well and I'm getting in the flow of things. I think I'm also doing a lot better since that video, but maybe it's just because spring is in the air and the sun isn't setting at 5 p.m. Spring is my favorite time of year. I just love it and I'm very excited, and I feel just like a little bit happier every day because it's spring. But anyways, what I've been up to, and yeah, I have all my favorites on my phone. I usually prefer to go analog, but I typed it on my phone when I was out and it felt really stupid to write it down in my journal just for the sake of looking like I'm reading it off of a journal. That's so stupid. So I'm reading it off my phone, whatever. But what I've been up to is I've been working a lot, honestly. I guess the last vlog I did was also talking about working. I've just been working a lot. Fully have 2 jobs. I work on the same day sometimes, like I'll go from one job to the other. I honestly don't have to work that much if I didn't want to, but I think that maybe a little bit at least I am using it as kind of a distraction so that I'm not just sitting in my room and reeling and like being in my head, because I have a bad habit of doing that, and I was doing that a ton before I started working at all. So now I'm kind of just throwing myself into work and kind of using it as a distraction, but it's also like beneficial because I'm able to stack up a little savings, and I don't know, it's whatever. I don't necessarily love my jobs, but it keeps me busy, and also I feel like I appreciate my days off and my days completely free so much more because I don't have them every day. I guess that's just true with everything. Like if you have anything too much, you're not gonna appreciate it. But yeah, I think I was just wasting all my days off when I was unemployed, like all my free time and free days. Maybe it was also because it was in the dead of winter and there's not really much to do in the city during winter, but definitely also because I just had an abundance of free time and I was like, oh, I could just do it tomorrow because I also have no plans for tomorrow. I think having such a tight schedule has forced me to like really make time for things that I value or things that I want to do, and even just appreciate spending a day in bed so much more because I don't get to do it all the time. And definitely sleeping in, because now I typically wake up at 4 a.m. to go to my first job at 5. So like today I had to wake up to go to the dentist, quote unquote early, what I would consider to be early. In the past I had to wake up at 7:30, but to me it felt like sleeping in. And when I was on the train to go to the dentist, I saw everyone that was on their way to work or school like sleeping on the train, and I was like, I used to be like you, I used to be like you, but I had to get my fucking ass up and work, period.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
That is one thing I've been doing. Also, not really a thing I'm actively doing, but something I did was I got a labrae piercing, just like a traditional, not like a vertical labrae that goes through your lip. It's just like a little stud under. I actually eventually want to change it to a hoop, either a closed ring or like a little like barbell looking hoop so it looks like a vertical labrae. I just didn't want the scar on my lip. I'm very type A about scarring, but I think that my lip will cover it once I take out the piercing. I think my lip will eventually cover the scar should I decide to take out the piercing, which is also another big reason why I got it. Another reason why I got it is because my smiley piercing got ripped out at a concert for Black Cray or Sick Boy Rari or whatever you want to call it back in October, and I missed it so much. I felt like I lost a part of myself when it got ripped out. It got stuck on like the little flip top thing of a beer can I was drinking, and then I got pushed forward, so then my hand, it just ripped it out. I didn't feel it, but I felt for the piercing and it wasn't there. And I was like, dang. It's gone, isn't it? It's gone. But yeah, I got this labrae finally after thinking about it for so long. I actually bought a fake hoop just to test it out and see how it would look and how I liked it like months ago, and then I lost the hoop after like 2 days. But I did really like it, and wearing a fake piercing is so annoying because it kept popping off. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I wanted to do it, and I ended up just doing it spontaneously somewhat. Like when I left the house that day, I was not planning on doing it, but I was on St. Mark's and the piercing shop was right there, and I was like, whatever, I think now's a good time as ever to get it. But it's not like I just got it after never really having the thought. I thought about it for like so long, and I didn't even realize how long I thought about it until I looked back at my journal and I saw in an entry in like September or October that I mentioned wanting it. So I'm like, you know what, it's been way long enough, so I don't really regret it. I am still kind of adjusting to it, like I feel like you kind of have to do with all piercing. I was also really scared for my parents to see it, but they saw it and they were just like, why would you do that? But I pay my own bills. They said the New York City is getting to your head. I don't think so. I've always liked facial piercings, but I think that now I actually have my own autonomy. Other things I've been doing, I've fallen off a little bit on it, but I'm trying to get back into it again. Filming and posting on YouTube pretty consistently for a while, or I guess for like a month. I was doing it every 2 weeks, which I guess means I posted 2 videos. But I want to get back into doing it more regularly. It actually has brought me a lot of joy, and I feel the same happiness and like enthusiasm about it as I did when I was starting out. I think a big factor is that I don't feel guilty about it anymore, because I don't feel like there's something else I should be doing, or like I should be studying, or like I'm focusing on the wrong thing. So yeah, I think I'm allowing myself to enjoy it as much as I want to and as much as I do, without like feeling guilty or feeling like it's a waste of time or whatever. I think that that's my main focus when I'm not at work, just working on YouTube stuff. I fell off for a bit because I got sick like twice in a row. I got sick and then I got better, and then I got sick maybe a week later, so it's not been the vibe, but we're so back. We are so back. I'm actually still a little bit sick, and also half of my face is numb still, but we're so back. And then lastly, I guess somewhat another thing I've been up to or doing or trying to do is not shopping online as much, which I think I've been doing pretty well. When I was in the throes of just absolute depression, life wasn't going my way, I really needed something to look forward to. I needed something something to hyperfixate on as well. So I got very much into shopping online, as I do. I'm starting to notice patterns on like when I shop more, when I don't. But I was very much into shopping online towards the end of last year, but I have been really trying to cut down on it, especially on stuff like eBay, Poshmark, because I feel like those are the main contenders. I didn't have Poshmark for a couple months, I think. I downloaded it to buy a bag, a red Balenciaga city bag, which I feel like is justified. Since then, I haven't deleted it, and I've bought a couple more stuff, which I'll probably style in an upcoming video of like stuff I want to wear this spring. But also, I kind of try to avoid saying or revealing too much about where I work because I'm very paranoid about people tracking me down. But I work at a thrift store, and I find so much good stuff there, and I feel like I already do way too much shopping there to add onto it by shopping online. So it's just like, no. And even shopping at my job or like buying things from there, I've had to really pull the reins on myself and control myself. I am gonna also do a haul of the stuff I've gotten over like the past maybe 2-3 months, particularly stuff for spring that I want to wear and style, because it's like good. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. But I am trying to cut back because the fact of the matter is I don't need more clothes. I just love clothing maybe more than wearing it. I love clothing and I love putting together outfits maybe more than wearing them myself. I just like that I can, and I like that I have like a wide variety of options. If I have an idea for something, I can be like, oh, I could pull this or I could pull that, but it's just not practical, at least not in this stage of my life. Maybe one day I'll be an established stylist and I'll have a huge archive of all this cool vintage and whatever stuff that I really like and can style other people in, but I only have one body and I can only wear but so many clothes. I am also a creature of habit who loves to wear the same thing, which is so contradictory, but it just is what it is. Also, I have to wear a uniform half the time, so it's like I don't get to convey the vibe. So it's like, what's the point anyway? Yeah, that's partly why. Also, a ton of people online have been doing like no buy or low buy, or like the 75 hard challenge, which is basically like 75 days no buy and just styling stuff in your wardrobe, which I think is awesome. I have not been doing it because I don't like putting strict restrictions on myself like that, because I feel like it tricks my mind and then I just go against it super firmly. Like I'll buy one thing and then be like, it's so over, and then just completely throw it out the window. But I think just being more mindful and consuming in moderation is more effective for me personally. Although I really love to see a lot of people, especially in the fashion community, which is so focused on consumption, the fashion community online particularly, it's been nice and refreshing to see a cutback in that, and I've definitely noticed it a lot. I think that's just about it in terms of what I've been up to. So without further ado, let's move on to the next topic, shall we? Which is clothing, which I actually haven't gathered to show you, but I have them written down. So give me a second. I'm gonna gather them so that I could show you while I talk about it, and then I'll be back. Okay. I've gathered said clothing favorites. A lot of them are, I guess, more practical versus like style wise, because I haven't been shopping as much for myself as I said, but I can justify a purchase that's for a practical reason. And the first one you might think I'm crazy for, and I'm putting it first because I think it actually is my favorite, and I have so much to say about it because it used to be something I vehemently hated. Like, I actively hated on this item. I thought that people who wore them were so deluded. I was like, why would anyone in their right mind buy this shoe? And said shoe is Hoka's, dude. I have such mixed feelings about this, and I could honestly write a dissertation on them, but these are still to me the ugliest shoe in the world. Like, I've seen maybe one collab that looks really cool from Hoka. It's like Hoka and Bodega. They made like a little trail looking shoe, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But to me, these are so ugly. I actually hate the way they look. Something about the shape is just weird. Even when I wear them, I did get them like maybe half a size too big, but I feel like I'm Bigfoot and I'm like tripping over my own feet. But with all that hating, these are so comfortable. Like, I genuinely have never worn a shoe this comfortable ever. I've had Solomon's, I've had Nike Shox, I've had Birkenstocks, Crocs. Nothing is touching how comfortable these shoes are. Nothing. And I bought them because I wanted to wear them to work, and I was like, I already have no vibe at work. There's no saving it. I have to wear this dumb uniform anyway. I might as well have something comfortable on my feet if I'm gonna be on my feet. So I caved and bought them because I saw people talking about how comfortable they are and blah blah blah, and I just wanted to like see if the hype was real. I've just been curious about them. Like, they kind of were living rent free in my head, and I wanted to buy them so that I could say they're not good and I could continue to hate on them, but I can't because they're literally so comfortable. I will say they are super expensive. They're like 170 retail, give or take. I think my style is called the Bondi or like the Bondi 2 or something. They're like 150 plus, but I got mine on Poshmark for like $35 because I was like, I'm gonna just buy the cheapest pair I can find in my size that are like still in decent condition and don't look like they are carrying living organisms within the soles. This pair was like basically brand new and I got them for $35. The color is super ugly. I think the color makes it worse. I've seen like a black pair with just a white sole, which is not as bad. They're still not an attractive shoe to me. I would never wear them for fashion purposes, but they are so comfortable. They're so comfortable that sometimes I'll wear them even if I kind of want to wear a cute outfit. If I weigh the pros and cons and I'm like, do I want to wear a cute outfit or do I want to be comfortable? Sometimes wanting to be comfortable wins and I'll put on the Hokas, dude. Also, a lot of the time I'm running late for work, so I have to run to the train station to catch my train because it only comes once every 20 minutes. So like if I miss that train, like it's over. So they're comfortable to run in, I will say that. And yeah, that is my like weird love-hate relationship with Hokas. If you're on your feet a lot, I recommend you getting them. I already got my mom her gifts for Mother's Day, but if I didn't, I would have gotten her those because she has like knee and foot problems and I think that they would be like perfect for her. Before getting those, I wore my Docs to work every day because I feel like they were so broken in. I've had them for like 3+ years, so I was wearing those before and my feet would hurt quite a bit at the end of the day, but I was just like, well yeah, I've been on my feet all day, of course they hurt. My feet don't hurt when I wear these and I take them off after being on my feet for like 8 hours. So as ugly as they are, I can't hate. Like, I literally can't hate. Next up, I have 2 pant favorites, both of which are jeans. One of them I talked about in my winter essentials video, so I'm not going to talk about it much, but these jeans, BDG Bella Baggy Jean, I have them in 4 colors and I really want black, but they're $70 online now and eventually everything on Urban Outfitters goes on sale, so I'm waiting for them to go on sale so I could buy the black. But genuinely best jean ever. I get a lot of compliments on them, but they're just comfortable. They are comfortable in the way that sweatpants are comfortable to me. Now instead of throwing on sweatpants to run and do an errand or whatever, I will throw on these. And sure, maybe they don't look that much better than sweatpants because they're like baggy and ill-fitting, but they're so comfortable and they look cool. They stack perfectly. I love them. Genuinely, they're my favorite jean. And the fact that I still am talking about them for so long, I feel like says a lot. It's been almost a year now and they're still like my go-to pant. My next favorite pant I kind of got as like a contrary to that because I realized I was wearing a lot of baggy pants and I was like, I don't really have a pair of fitted flares that I love. I did have this one pair that I got on eBay some ages ago and those were my go-to dark wash like fitted flare jean, but I think I just got tired of them. I wore them way too much. They still fit me beautifully, but I think I just had to retire them for a bit before I go back to them because it was just getting to be, I don't know, I got really tired of them after wearing them for like 3 years on a consistent basis whenever I wanted to wear like a fitted flare jean. So I was like, I'm just gonna ride the baggy jean wave until I found these fitted flare jeans. I actually found these at my job and I wasn't really looking for them. That's the problem with working at a thrift store. You're constantly like having to flip through the racks and like put things back and put things away and you just stumble upon some of the best things ever and then it's already semi-cheap and then you get a discount, so you're like, why not? But then it's like, no, but then it's like, yes though. Anyways, these are the club jeans and the brand is Adriano Goldschmied. I don't know, never heard of it before. This is the logo on the back pockets. I'm pretty happy that it's not obnoxious because that's something I think about a lot. I really like these jeans, but they're Miss Me and I just hate how the back pockets are so in your face, you know? Also, you feel the buttons when you sit down. This is just a simple, perfect dark wash jean, but it's not just one solid color, you know? It has some good wash, it has whiskering, and mainly it's long enough for me. It has that perfect fade at the knee. They fit me like a glove and they have also become my go-to jean. Whether I want a fitted vibe or a baggy vibe, I'm wearing one of the two. I still have my belt in them because I wore them to the dentist earlier. And can I just say, like, that was actually a terrifying experience. He had to put something to keep my mouth open because I kept closing it out of fear. Hate that. I put off going to the dentist for a year and in that year my small issue got so much worse. Whatever, just go to the dentist if you're putting it off. off because that could have been less bad if I went a year ago and fixed it, but I didn't, and now I have to go back again. Anyways, that's off topic. Next favorite, which is kind of just a cutie pie little find that I found also at my job. And you know, when I got them, I just kind of saw the potential, just a little bit. And I tried to explain it to my coworkers because I always ask them, because they all have great style. I'm like, you think I should buy this? You think I shouldn't? We kind of just do that for each other. We convince each other not to buy stuff. And if something is worth the cop. So of course I had to consult my associates, and they were all like, I don't really see it. No, I'm not seeing the vibe that much, except for one. And he serves, and I trust his opinion with my life. And I was like, I just needed to hear you say that you like saw the vision. And I got these Nikes. They're just black. They are not Nike Dunks, but they almost look like it. The shape is pretty similar. It's not a thick sole like Air Forces are. I have no idea what the name of the style is. They're just black women's Nikes, and then they say Nike in the back in script. They had black laces, but online I was able to find pink satin ribbon laces that match the color of the check like perfectly, and now these are just my favorite shoe. I've wanted black Air Forces for a while, but I don't know, something about them, I feel like maybe I wouldn't wear them that much, but I like them in a grungy kind of way. And I've been thinking about getting a pair for a while, but I was like, I really don't need more sneakers, and I just don't need to be spending unnecessary money on another pair of sneakers that like I'll wear occasionally. And I also was like on the fence about it. I was like, they could be cute, but the vibe also might just not be there. Yeah, also I think that Nike is gonna be back on the rise because this trend cycle goes way too fast. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it was all about Nike Dunks and like Jordan 1s and stuff. And then we turned over to like a hard pivot to Adidas and other shoes of that nature. But I think we're gonna come back to Nike pretty soon, or at least I personally will be, because I'm kind of just getting tired of wearing my Sambas finally, thank God, because I was wearing them to death. So I feel like these are gonna take their place. I instantly knew that I wanted to find a pair of satin ribbon laces. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten them. The laces take it to another level, and I think it was maybe $25 for the shoes and to order the laces. Like the shoes were like $22, and I also get an employee discount. I did find this shoe on Poshmark. I forget what I searched, but if you wanted to buy them and do the same thing, I found one pair out there. I don't know if the seller is still active, but they exist elsewhere. So yeah, that has been a favorite of mine. I haven't really been wearing it as much because the way I want to style it is with mini little baby doll style dresses and lacy skirts. Kind of like I want to switch out whenever I would wear a ballet flat. I kind of want to wear these instead and give a look a bit of edge, especially if it's like a skirt or a dress. It causes some contrast, and then I want to start wearing my ballet flats with stuff like baggy jeans or like oversized shorts, because I feel like it just adds another element and some contrast to your outfit. It makes it more interesting. Like baby doll lacy dress with ballet flats is predictable, but baby doll lacy little frilly dress with those, like, okay, like you get the vibe because of the ribbon laces, but it's like, all right, black Nike shoe, like we're seeing some contrast here. This I'm also not going to spend too much time talking about, but it's only fair to mention it as my favorite because I have worn this for like half of the month. I have it in, I believe, all three colors, black, white, and then there was a navy blue. It's the Supreme X-ray long sleeve. It just has like a tiny Supreme box logo here, but I think this is awesome. It looks so cool when I layer t-shirts over it because you can see the arms, and I love this. I love a thermal shirt, blah 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 blah. I talked about this a lot already, so I'm not gonna get into it more, but I honestly wish I bought two of these because I did get a stain right here towards the bottom and I'm just really sad about it. Hopefully I can get it out. Maybe I'll bleach it or something, but they did do the skeleton X-ray thermal last season as well, so maybe they'll bring it back, but I don't know. I like wearing the same thing, so if I find something I like, I'll like it. But then it's always only a matter of time until I just wear it one too many times and I'm like, no, that's it. And I think I'm like that way with everything. Like with music I really like, food I really like I'll hyper fixate on it and I'll wear it or I'll listen to it or I'll eat it over and over and over again, so I'm absolutely tired of it and then I'll never touch it again. Final favorite, nothing crazy. I'm at the point where I can go shopping in my own closet and find stuff that I forgot about, but I've been in the process of fixing up my my room that is not my room. In my apartment, there's one extra room that should be the living room, but then we kind of ended up using it as extra storage. So you don't really have a living room. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want a living room. I want like a little communal space, like somewhere that's not my room where I could work on my laptop or watch a movie or something, because I feel like I literally just stay holed up in my room and go outside and then come back and just stay in my room. So I did buy some furniture and I'm trying to fix up that room, and in doing that I had to go through all of the clothes I had stored in there, and I found this hoodie again, which I bought when I was a freshman in college, I believe. It's just Harley Davidson. I bought it on Depop and it was like 20 bucks or so. It's just a black pullover hoodie and it has a bunch of logos, like logos on both the sleeves, logos on the front, logos on the back, but I kind of just rediscovered it and really like it, and I've been wearing it a ton. It looks good with those baggy jeans, and what can I say? It's just been my new go-to hoodie that I throw on, and that is my clothing favorites. I think I'll leave it there. So I'm gonna move on to, I'm gonna do music because that's my second longest list, but I'm gonna try to go through it fast. Okay, so firstly, I did go to a music event this month. I went to the Bar Italia show that was in Brooklyn in March of this month. It was really good, but I went to see Bar Italia in like December, so it was the exact same show. They haven't released any new music, but they just, I guess, wanted to do another show in New York since that one sold out that I went to before. But I went to that show alone, and I went to this show this year with my friends, so it was a different experience in that way. It was fun. I love Bar Italia. I really like the Twits, and it kind of forced me to go back and re-listen to that album again, because I used to listen to it like every day for a while, and then I stopped in the new year, probably a couple weeks after seeing them live, because that's just what I do, but started listening to it again because I knew I was gonna see them live again, and it's just a solid album. I really like them. Also, when I went out to the smoking section, they were there, and I had to try to play it cool. Like, I wasn't like obsessed. I was just like, oh, whatever. I'm not even gonna say hey, like, whatever. I probably should have fangirled, but I kept my cool, and I'm sure that they'll remember me forever. Anyways, kind of the same vein, Lolina, the artist, which is Inga Copeland, which is, if you don't know, Dean Blunt, which is my favorite artist right now, like next to Aphex Twin. He has a bunch of different names he makes music under, but one of them is Hype Williams, which is 2 people, and it's like mostly instrumental music. And the other member of that group is Inga Copeland, and Inga Copeland on her own makes music under the name Lolina, and she made a new album that came out like maybe a week ago called Unrecognizable, and it's really good. And yeah, I've been listening to that a lot, particularly the titular song Unrecognizable, the song Easy Rider Geneva Heat, and the song 15 Minutes. I think 15 Minutes and Unrecognizable are probably my favorite tracks from it. Good album, give it a listen. Listen to Dean Blunt if you don't. I love Dean Blunt and I really want to see him live. And I really want to see Aphex Twin live, but I'm not even gonna get into that. I did buy tickets to go see him live in August, and for reasons I won't disclose, I didn't get to go. It was a show in London and I wanted to go and have a trip and go to the whatever, but it just didn't happen. Anyways, I've been listening a lot to the artist Yapo JJ and just a lot of that genre of music, like jerk rap or like plug rap. I don't know what you want to call it. I guess it's, to me, it reminds me a lot of SoundCloud era rappers and like music when I was in high school. I guess it reminds me of like D Savage and Saw Baby, I don't know, Smoke Perp and Lil Pump, kind of that era of music. It doesn't sound the same, but it kind of has the same energy around it, and I feel like for the first time in a while I'm kind of interested in rap again and the underground rap scene. I don't know, all of the upcoming like underground rappers are so young, so it's kind of funny in that way, but it's the first time I felt excited about rap in a while. But Yapo JJ is probably one of my favorites of that genre. He reminds me a lot of Saw Baby, like new gen Saw Baby a little bit. He's like melodic in the way that Saw Baby is. Saw Baby was one of my favorite artists maybe 2-3 years ago, but I haven't been listening to his stuff as much as of late, but I've been listening to a lot of Yapo JJ. I think he's probably my top artist for this month. Some of my favorite tracks by him are 1-0, Hidden, You Look Good. I'm doing Glaze Olympics right now, like absolutely glazing. Anyways, another album album I've been listening to a lot is OK Computer by Radiohead. That has kind of been my album of the year so far. I listened to it a lot in January when I was on my trip. I went to Jamaica and I listened to it a lot there. I think it was one of the only albums I had fully downloaded, so I listened to it a bunch on the plane. I think it took the place of Vespertine by Bjork. That's the only album I've listened to as much as I have this one, just straight through. And it's good to put on when I want to just clean my room or do a task, or if I'm feeling a little down and I don't want to listen to a podcast, because that's usually what I'd put on. I just really like Radiohead. Apart from that, another song by Radiohead I like, which is not on that album, is Bulletproof, which is on The Bends. Next, I also have another album. I guess a lot of artists I like put out music this month, but Hook made a new album and it's so good. I just love Hook. I really liked Hook since I think like 2020. Her new album is really good. It's called Castle, but my favorite track off of it is Game Boy. I also really like Rabbit/Dungeon, Mattress. I do really wish I saw her in New York because she opened for Danny Brown, but I just don't listen to Danny Brown, so I was like, what am I gonna do, buy a ticket just to see the opener? Which I could have, and I don't know that I regret not doing that, but I feel like she'll probably have a solo show at some point. It's New York. I feel like anyone who has a show or is going touring will come here. Hopefully I didn't miss my one chance to see her live, but I feel like she'll do something else soon. It's one of the artists that I know most of their songs, and I love singing along to music at concerts. Like, if I don't know the music word for word, I don't want to go. So I think that that would be a show that I'd really enjoy because I know her music and I'd be able to appreciate it. And then I guess lastly is just one song that I found on my Discover Weekly, and it's Diamond Rain by Rari Kari. It's funny because I remember watching Rari Kari on YouTube 3-4 years ago, maybe more than that actually, and now she makes music and it's actually really good. That song particularly is very good. I'm pretty sure it's a Deftones sample. I forget which song, it like slips my mind. Next, I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite just general items. First off, I have been double cleansing and I think it's helped my skin in a crazy way. My skin, especially the texture of it, has gotten so much better, and I think it's because I've been double cleansing every day. I used to only double cleanse if I wore makeup that day, but I read online that even if you use sunscreen, you should be double cleansing, and I use sunscreen daily, and I think that that's why my pores were getting clogged. And the cleanser I use, like the oil-based cleanser, is Kiehl's Midnight Recovery Cleansing Oil, and it's really good. It's like $40 though. That's the only thing, but it's good enough for me to buy it a second time. I finished my first bottle and I bought it a second time, so it's that good that I think it's worth it. I used to use the Ordinary oil cleanser, but it actually just made me upset. It would come out as like a paste and you'd have to melt it in your hands and then wash your face with it, and it was like a whole process, and because it was a process, I just would try to avoid it in general. But that makes it easy. It comes out as a liquid. You could use it with wet hands and a wet face and it still works. It works really well to remove your makeup as well, and it has really helped my skin. So that's been one favorite of mine. Another favorite that also concerns with skincare is Mediheal, their toner pads, which I will say I was convinced to buy these after going down a rabbit hole on like skincare TikTok, which is such a ploy, and they're so good at getting you to buy random junk that you don't need. But this is something that I bought. I bought 3 of them so far and like use them all, and it's actually worth it. I get it. They're good. They make me feel refreshed. I use it as like a little face mask, so I'll put 1, 2, and then 3, and then keep it on my face for like 15 minutes while I'm getting ready, and then do the rest of my skincare. And it's like an easy way to kind of just add an extra step into your skincare routine, and it's supposed to fade dark marks and help with texture. And I think it does. I don't know, but it definitely makes me feel refreshed and makes me feel a little bit better. I don't know, maybe it's more of a self-care thing than anything else, but yeah, I think that they're worth it. You get a good amount for like $20 or so, and then you could just buy refills, which are a bit cheaper. Last skincare concerning favorite is the Aztec clay mask, and I feel like in this way I'm going back to basics, because like I was saying, skincare TikTok and skincare being pushed on social media and in general will get you to buy the most random things that you don't need, even when you have something that works. Like this time last year, I switched from using the Aztec clay mask once a week to using this peel chemical cleanser by The Ordinary that everyone was talking about, and it was supposedly so good, but it just didn't really work with my skin, at least not as well as the Aztec clay mask worked. And I don't know why I switched it when the Aztec clay mask was working for me. Sure, it's annoying to mix and like wash off, but it was working. So I finally went back to it. My camera died while I was having a yapathon, but where was I? Oh yeah, Aztec clay mask. If it works, it works. Stick with it. I finally learned that, especially when it comes to skincare. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think I changed my skincare routine so much, just have to change it back and like undo the error from the trial and error, you know? My next general favorite is just, kind of sounds stupid to say, but AirPods. I feel like that's another, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I got the AirPod Max, the over-ear ones that are like $500, and I really liked them for a while, but I don't know how much of it was like I like them or I have them and now I'm going to wear them all the time. They are really great on the train and stuff for noise canceling, but they're huge and you have to carry around a huge bag when you want to wear them, or you have to keep them on your head and you get all sweaty. I just have not been using them as much as of recently, and I've been returning to tradition of my regular AirPods that also have noise cancellation. These ones, they fit in your pocket, you could take them everywhere. Working retail in like a mundane job, being able to sneak one of these into my ear, game changer. I've been listening to audiobook, listening to podcasts, a lot of Therapy Gecko, an audiobook that I guess I'll talk about later. I liked the over ears for a minute, but like if you're on the fence between one or the other, get the in-ear ones, specifically the ones with like the little suction tip that goes in your ear, because I've owned both and it makes a huge difference. The one with like the rubber applicator to go in your ear. Honestly, AirPods Max, waste of money. I wouldn't say waste of money, they are the best over-ear headphones I've owned, but like, I don't know, the in-ear ones just do it for me. Like, was not necessary. Next general favorite are also like a bit random, but caffeine pills. I bought them initially when I was still in school because making coffee or getting coffee is expensive and like a bit inconvenient. So I was like, I should just get caffeine pills, and I ordered a bottle of caffeine pills of like 100 milligrams on Amazon for like, I don't know, no more than 10 bucks, and I got like a bunch. A regular cup of coffee has 85 milligrams, so it's not much more caffeine than like a cup of coffee. I think it's less caffeine than a Red Bull. It's like one less step than making coffee, and as someone who doesn't necessarily love the taste of coffee, I more so just drank it for the benefits of like getting energy and focus. The caffeine pill does it for me. Also, I kind of was starting to resent that it suppressed my appetite so much and it made food not enjoyable, and sometimes just made my stomach hurt in general. Like the GI issues, they weren't great. I don't know, my stomach would just always be on tilt, and now especially since I've kind of stopped drinking coffee altogether, my stomach is definitely on tilt if I do have a coffee. But I don't know, I think the caffeine pill just works better for me. If you're not a coffee drinker, I feel like they're safer than energy drinks. You're able to more easily tailor how much you want to take. Like if I wanted, say, a double shot, I could just take 2 caffeine pills instead. Also, I feel like it makes you feel less jittery. I feel less crazy in sano mode, and I feel like I crash less when I have a caffeine pill versus when I drink a coffee or a Red Bull, even though I haven't drank a Red Bull in a long time. And then lastly, I got a new plant, which is my Monstera. I've been wanting a Monstera for a while, and I finally got one. I'm just excited to see it grow. It's in a little corner of my room out of direct sunlight. Gotta be sure to water it. I'm actually gonna just water it now that I remember, because I don't think I watered it yet for this week. New plant alert, new plant alert. The only plant that I have that is still surviving, I've had since COVID. It's my like Chinese money plant, and it moved with me, and it's still going strong, even though I didn't have anyone water it when I was on vacation and it kind of took a little hit. It's still going strong, and I feel like it's a good plant for beginners because it's been through a lot and it hasn't died, and it's flourishing. It's growing new buds and stuff. I also have heard the same about Monsteras, and I like that it's bigger and a floor plant, so hopefully I don't kill it. I don't know, I'm really excited about it actually. That would be my last general favorite item. What do I have left? I have food and I have media. I guess since I kind of touched on food, I'll continue to talk about food. Random foods I've been obsessed with and hyperfixated on. Cookie dough pieces from Target. Let me start by saying I am very much an ice cream person. I think for the past year, I have ice cream almost every day, either before or after dinner. I definitely go through major phases of liking it and not. Like times when I have more of a sweet tooth and I don't, but I like ice cream. It's one of my favorite foods, and I particularly like Ben & Jerry's. I think that's like the best quality ice cream, but it's so expensive. It's like $6 or $7 for a pint. I would end up going to the supermarket and spending like, I don't know, $20 on like 3 pints of Ben & Jerry's, and then it would be done in a week and a half, and then I have to re-up. Not worth it. Kind of crazy as like a snack. It's like super expensive. So what I've started to do is just get ice cream without toppings, like just plain vanilla ice cream, and then adding in the cookie dough, because you could get frozen cookie dough from Target, like the kind that they put into cookie dough ice cream, which is my favorite flavor. So I've just been making hot fudge sundaes, ice cream sundaes every day. Not good. I should probably cut back. I stopped for a while because I was sick, but I don't know. It's one of my simple joys of life. I love an ice cream sundae, and I feel like a kid again, and I do feel like I'm eating like a kid who finally got to choose whatever they want to eat. I think that when I have a phase like this, I just have to follow my craving, and then eventually I do inevitably get tired of it, and then I'll be over it for like 2 or 3 months, and then I'll get back into it. Like before this, I was super obsessed with frozen sorbets and frozen popsicles, and I bought a popsicle maker and started making my own popsicles, and I'd eat like 3 or 4 popsicles a day. Now I'm kind of changed that hyperfixation onto ice cream. I don't know, I feel like I always need like a little sweet to hyperfixate on, and right now it's ice cream, and I've been making ice cream sundaes like with the works, and I don't know, I love it. My next favorite is a tuna melt, which is kind of random, but when I was a kid, I went on a cruise with my family, and my dad, my sisters, and I became obsessed with the tuna melts that they made on the cruise, because there was a little sandwich shop that was open 24 hours, and like of course on a cruise, like all the food is included, so you could go at any time of the day and get a tuna melt sandwich, and it was so good. And then when we came back, my dad would always try to recreate that tuna melt, and that was just like the go-to sandwich in our house. If we were ever like, I'm hungry, he was like, well, what do you guys want for dinner? A tuna melt? And we were like, yeah. But since moving out of my parents' house, I really haven't had a tuna melt. I did maybe once since then when I visited home, because my dad still eats them regularly, but I haven't had one. And the other day I was like, you know what? I should learn how to make a really good tuna melt. I think that would be good. So I got all of the ingredients and I made a tuna melt, and then I made another one and another one. I think that was like 2 weeks ago. So for the past 2 weeks, I've had like 3 of them a week. It's just an easy dinner to make. I spent maybe like $25 or $30 on all the ingredients, and I followed a recipe on a website that I'll link down below in the description if you also want to make a tuna melt for some reason. But I think every month I'm gonna try to find a recipe that's easy, that I really like, and try to make it and master it. And lastly, I'm gonna get right to my media favorites, like general media that's not music. So number 1 would be The Curse. It's, I think, produced by Nathan Fielder, and he also stars in it, but also Emma Stone co-stars with him. So good. I remember seeing the ad for it in the fall, because it came out this past fall of 2023, but I never got around to watching it. I was just like really busy, and I wasn't really in my watching shows era. I go through like different phases of really liking watching shows and TV and movies, and then just not, and I think I am in that phase now, kind of. So for about a week, especially when I was sick, I just binge watched all 10 episodes. I think they're 10 episodes and they're an hour long each. It was really good. The ending was so weird. I don't know, it was just weird. It was a spectacle. If you like Nathan Fielder and the stuff he does, you will like it. He's really something. Like, he hasn't missed yet. I've watched pretty much everything he has made. The Rehearsal, Nathan For You, I've watched all of it and I've enjoyed all of it, and this is no exception. It was really good. I don't think it was nominated for anything, like any Emmys or anything, but the performances were super good by everyone. Also, Benny Safdie, who is one of the Safdie brothers, he produced like Uncut Gems and Good Time, which is another A24 movie that was really good. He was also in it. A lot of people who I like all their work. Only Emma Stone I wasn't too crazy about, but between watching The Curse and then right after The Curse, another one of my favorites, I watched Poor Things. So good. Kind of weird. Kind of have like mixed feelings about it in the same way that I had mixed feelings about the movie It's Natalie Portman. I'm drawing a blank. Leon the Professional, which I also watched this month. I wouldn't say it was a favorite of mine because it kind of just left me feeling odd. At least in Poor Things, it was like an actual woman. But I don't know, something about Leon the Professional, although I enjoyed watching it, but I just felt weird about it as well. Like my feelings were too mixed for me to say like it was a favorite of mine. But I really did like Poor Things. And I think Emma Stone's an amazing actor. And she's also so pretty. So that was another favorite of mine. Emma Stone Supremacy. We love Emma Stone, period. And then Sex and the City is a show I've been watching a lot currently as of the past like 2-3 weeks. I tried to watch it in the past, but it just didn't hit for me, and now it just really does. I think because I have experience dating in New York City, I at least have that thread of like being able to relate to the characters enough. Also, like I'm almost 23, I guess I'm that age. Like it's for women of my age, I guess. I don't know, but it's really good. And just like easy watching, especially as someone who's single, because I feel like a lot of shows, what puts me off of watching them is they're too focused on love and romance. A lot of movies too, like I didn't watch any of the rom-coms or like a lot of the shows that I hear people raving about that are like about love, like Heartbreaker or something, and that other one, Normal People. I'm not in the mood to consume romance media at all, so I think that this is just the perfect show. It's easy watching, it's light. I've also been watching Seinfeld. That was more so last month, but that was also good. And I watched it like every day until I got tired of it. But I'll probably be back for some more Seinfeld as well. But in Sex and the City, it's so fun. They wear a lot of hysteric glamour, especially in the second season. And I just love being able to spot it. Carrie has the tank top version of a top I have. It's just so fun to see, especially because I'm pretty sure that episode or like that season I was watching was filmed in 2000, like before I was even born, and to see a shirt I literally own in the costume for the show is so crazy. And I don't know, I think it's really cool. I love the style on that show as well, and I think the characters, although very much exaggerated, are relatable. Not necessarily to me, but like, I don't know. Honestly, I think a good way to describe it is it reminds me of Girls, but like back in the early 2000s and more solely focused on dating rather than dating and coming of age, but without like romanticizing the whole thing too much. And I really liked Girls. I did watch it for a second time somewhat recently, so if you liked Girls and haven't watched Sex and the City, which I doubt it, I feel like I'm one of the few people who haven't watched it as of yet, but I really recommend it if you haven't seen it. And then, like I mentioned, I was listening to an audiobook. This is the first audiobook I've ever listened to, actually. I started listening to it solely because I was at work and bored as bones, and I was like, I'm going crazy listening to all this retail music, like I need something. And I was like out of podcasts because you go through them super quickly when you're just constantly listening to them at work. So I started listening to this audiobook, Rabbits for Food. I think I found it because I was like looking for books that are similar to My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I'm like 75% way through it, probably be done by the time this video is up. I like it a lot, but I do think that it's very much, I don't know, it's just very depression focused, which I guess makes sense because of the topic. And if it's similar to My Year of Rest and Relaxation, another book I really liked, it makes sense that the character is like clinically depressed, but that's like the point of the whole book about her experience. And I don't know, I really like it. It's super well written, it's super interesting, but it could be kind of a downer at times, and like I realized that it was like kind of changing my mood to have a more negative outlook. So I don't know, something to keep in mind. I think maybe I was just listening to it all too much in one day. It is a good book. I just think that maybe it would exacerbate depression if I was super depressed, but even when I wasn't, I was kind of just like neutral, kind of put a little depressive tint or like a bit of a negative tint on everything. Yeah, it made me feel a bit existential maybe, but it was still really good, and I was able to identify and relate to the character a good bit, but not a super uplifting book, if that's what you're looking for. Bit of a downer, but still really good, really well written, super interesting. And then lastly, a movie favorite of mine, I didn't watch it this month, so I watched it like the beginning of February, is Frances Ha, which was recommended to me by a coworker of mine. And I really like Greta Gerwig. I think that she's a cool producer, and I've watched a lot of her movies and really enjoyed them. Honestly, wasn't crazy about Barbie, but like that was like a corporate gimmick. I was hesitant to watch Frances Ha because it was in black and white, which which is a stupid reason not to watch it. But I finally decided to watch it because I've been making a lot more of an effort to watch more movies. I think I've watched about 20 movies this year so far, which is like a lot for me. I probably didn't watch 20 movies in all of last year, but yeah, I've been enjoying watching movies more. And I think Frances Ha, out of all the movies I've seen of this year so far, has resonated with me the most. I cried my eyes out. It made me feel like everything was gonna be okay, especially in my early 20s, as like things are just kind of uncertain in my life and I just feel like I'm messing up a little bit and like things aren't just going as planned. It just made me feel like things will be okay. I just really liked the main character and how she was written and how the dynamic with her friend was. I think it was super reflective of like how life and relationships and love can be in your early 20s and like work. I just loved it so much and it made me feel really good and sad and happy and hopeful. Yeah, it was like a really lovely movie and I actually think I'll rewatch it again sometime soon because as much as I enjoyed it, I don't really solidly remember specific plot points from it, seeing as though I watched it about a month ago, but it's definitely rewatchable. And also no one cares that it's in black and white. It's such a stupid reason for me not to watch it for so long, but I'm glad that I held out because I feel like I saw it at just the right time when I really needed it. And yeah, it was so good. Probably one of my favorite movies. I don't know if I could say favorite movies ever. I think I probably have to rewatch it at least once more, but I really liked it. And on that note, that is it for my favorites of March and kind of all of 2024 up to this point. I hope you enjoyed. I feel like I probably talked your ear off, but maybe that's what you want. I love listening to just chatty videos, so maybe you are the same. Don't get me started on talking about my interests and like certain things I've been fixated on because I will not shut up, as you can see. But it's been really fun and I hope that you check out some of my favorites, or like maybe some of my favorites are your favorites. Either way, let me know if you try something out or watch something or whatever, or if you have any recommendations for me. I found a lot of cool media in the past from your guys' recommendations based on like my favorites, especially music. If you want to recommend me any music or movies, would love that. Also, here's one way that I styled my new Onitsuka Tiger sneakers that I got on POIZON. And don't forget to use the codes MK01 or MK02 to save up to $20. On that note, that's it for today. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see me again. And that's all, folks. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!